Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. I hope you all are doing well. Today is Thursday, March 28th, 2024. And I didn't say Happy Holy Week. I kind of dropped the ball on that. To all my Christian brothers and sisters. And of course, Easter is vastly approaching in a couple of days, which is unbelievable in itself. Well, Good Friday first and then Easter. So I hope you all are enjoying. I've spoken about it cosmically, which is there's just as much correlation for me as there is religiously, spiritually, even naturally, right? Because we've talked about the shift in the seasons and the even the lunar eclipse being a very transformative time. And I won't get into how that all kind of intertwines. If you know, you know, and if you don't, then you probably don't care to hear me break it down at this time. So I won't. But what I will do is add something to my message yesterday, which I hope you got a chance to check out. It was a good one, and in the midst of it, as it always happens, I was like, what? Like, what is really, I was a little bit confounded by how it was transmitting. But of course, as I watched it back, and I never watch it back before I post it. I always post it first, and then I watch it either later that day or the next day. So just so you know, it's not a matter of, I'm gonna watch it, then I'm gonna title it, then whatever. It's like me watching as a viewer or a subscriber myself when I watch it back. And what I did see, to add to it, everything stands as to what I was feeling and how it was coming up, even deeper and more profound in multiple ways. Actually, of course, when I watched it back, I'm like, scratching my chin, But one thing that kind of paled in the shadows of me speaking more of the Empress in reverse as like a mad queen or mad matriarch is this idea, which I started to touch on, but that point kind of overshadowed where I was going to go figure, as narcissist energies do. What I was starting to touch on and didn't ever really get there is the fact that Empress energy, and the only card really that was in reverse until the very end, also speaks to the imbalance of the true Empress and how she still has yet to be made whole on account of infractions that she's occurred. And when I say true Empress, I'm speaking of that divine feminine energy or supreme feminine energy that has been disenfranchised across the board in every way, shape, and form. You name it. I don't even need to get into it. And there's still some retribution hanging in the balance for her to be made whole for what has incurred, what's always been due to her, what she's earned rightfully, the position that she's been called to and ordained for in many ways, and everything that comes along with that, making up for time that has been lost, but also how now we get to forward creation in a more positive, on a more positive trajectory. So what I picked up is that, it's definitely a matter of what I wanted to say in the title was that the state of the union is at stake with or without her, but I didn't have enough space. I just left it at union is at stake. And the fact of the matter is, the state of the union as we know it, perhaps in this country, but of course, the United States is always a resonation for around the globe, here and everywhere else, that if the Empress, or until the Empress is made whole, the feminines that have yet to be justifiably reconciled, and righteously reconciled in whatever way, shape, and form. That could be materially, emotionally, energetically, proprietally, if that's even a word. In every way that the Empress has lost unjustifiably and has yet to be restored, it matters that that gets to happen for the state of union overall to be salvaged, and the union of the nation, of the country, of the globe, of creation overall to be stabilized. It doesn't get to happen without her first being balanced and being made whole, and the harmony of her heart being attended to, for the sake really of all of us. It's not even just a matter of for her own sake, but it's really for everyone's sake, for creation's sake. So again, that's on a small scale. Maybe you as a mother, you as a woman, you and other women that you're connected to, that you know of, many women in the space of even social media that have a story to share of loss and injustice, abuse, despair, disconnection, whatever the case may be. Women across the nation that share that sentiment, women across the globe, universally, the feminine energy overall, not even just limited to the woman, but the feminine energy has yet to be made whole. And until that gets to happen, it gets to happen. As a matter of fact, that's one of those things that has to happen if we all want to live well and live good. And I think if you would go and watch that message again, it would resonate differently with the Empress in reverse. Like, certainly there is a release of those energies that have been put in the position of power of the feminine origin, or over the feminine being, let's get into that don't rightfully deserve that place. And yes, that reign of terror is over, and they are being ushered out or uprooted, eliminated altogether in some ways and shapes and forms. But even as the true Empress is being restored to her natural throne, to her inherited place of sovereign authority, there's still some things that are owed to her to make that transition and transformation complete, and for the energies that have been a detriment to be fully transmuted again, for her to be active into her unlimited state of fertility for the sake of us all, really for that womb to be activated so that we can go forward into a space of pure creativity again, and not distorted creativity, or none at all, God forbid. So there's a little infraction that, if there's a female in your life that you may feel called to make amends with on account of infraction, unjustifiably, and I'm speaking more to the masculine energy more so, but it could work either way, of course. Now would be the time to make amends. And certainly if there have been ways, and this is very key to the spirit of the lunar eclipse, if there have been ways that you may have betrayed yourself, sold yourself short, limited your own possibilities, there is an opportunity for reconciliation in that regard, for you to allow yourself to see, to be reaffirmed in what it is that you desire holistically, and what it is that you are worthy of holistically, you know, where you may have talked yourself out of it or talked over it or swept it under the rug or suppressed it yourself with no help from any other energy, consciously so. It's also an opportunity to reconcile with you. Masculine and feminine again, and on the masculine side within his feminine energy, it could be by way of that nurturing piece and how you've missed the mark with, or how there's been a deficit in how you have nurtured your own emotional side, you know, or how you've allowed yourself to maybe even be abused or taken for granted by way of connections and relationships and commitments, suppressing the energy within you that desires to be taken care of, desires to be well. The Empress is a kept woman, although she is powerful and has great presence and makes deep impact. She also is very comfortable. That's Taurus energy. And Libra, comfortable and beautiful. Life is beautiful and comfortable. And there should be no apology made for the desire of that, for the reception of that, and in some ways, as needed, the pursuit of that. Even though the Empress really doesn't need to pursue, she's more of an attractive force. So at masculine, feminine, however it gets to be, that energy of ourselves has been abused, has been refused, depressed, suppressed. It's been taken for granted from the inside out and from the outside in, that we should have the audacity to believe that living well is a luxury of life, you know, to desire and acquire the finer things of life, not just from the material perspective, but just having the peace and liberty of luxury itself with your time and your energy. The peace of knowing that everything is working for you within the empire that you have been ordained to make an impression upon. You know, so of course, first we got to get those energies out that, you know, they've taken up space and have taken advantage. They know very well the liberty and luxury and privilege of such positions and have taken advantage of it, either abused the position of power or abused others with it. So they out of there, and hands down. But now as those that are righteous to that throne in their own ordained way are taking that seat, it's also time to not be afraid to be expecting all the privileges and favors that come along with that seat, just being deserving of it all, not limited or not taking the short end of the stick or the shortcut, or, you know, saying like, oh, well, that's all right, I don't need that much, this is good right here, selling yourself short. No, get all, be expecting of all that is due to you, from what has been lost or what has been held back, for what was always rightfully due in regards to that position in the first place, and everything that is to come along with it in the future. No gift, no love, no luxury, no liberty left behind. All right, so I felt like I had to say that. I had to say that just to give that little tidbit, because yesterday it made it all about that lower frequency energy, and it's really not so much about that energy at all, because that regime is over and there's a new reign of, what do we call it? A reign of triumph that has already, you know, it's a golden era that we are upon now, that the reign of darkness and terror is behind us. So let's see what we got today. Four of Pentacles. Somebody still trying to hold on or some conservation. Let's see what's behind that. Oh, that looks like the popo. Popo keeping watch over somebody that's trying to, they're either trying to hold on to assets, conceal assets, or keep up appearances that are not so incriminating. Like somebody trying to, like, you know how it is. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna take this out. That's kind of funny. You know how it is when, like, the cops are riding behind you and you may not have anything crazy on you whatsoever, but you sit up a little straighter, you make sure your seatbelt is on, you're doing the speed limit, God forbid you actually do have something in the car, because that might be the reason for this upright situation here. I don't know. But it's giving me that energy. That's what I saw. Like when the cops are following you, or they're somewhere on your route, and you just don't want to give them no reason to pull you over for nothing. You make sure you put your blinker on, you stop extra long at the stop sign, you ain't running no yellow lights, none of it. So like somebody's trying to be on their best innocent behavior right now. Maybe even account on how they're even spending their money, because it says coins, but it also kind of looks like he's driving too, but he's driving real tight up on the wheel, like, hands at, what is it? I don't even know. Is it 12 and 2 or something like that? Like, they making sure they ain't on the phone, none of that. Making sure that they are looking like an upstanding citizen at this time, because either they feel watched, or it's just the angst of knowing that the boys are in town, put it that way. Whether it be on the street or whatever, like they in the neighborhood, so just watch yourself. Now, some energies may or may not understand that, but a certain complexion definitely understands that. I like to believe that everybody kind of straightens up a little bit more, no matter what the culture, but I don't know, maybe not so, because sometimes I watch those YouTube videos of how people act with the cops, and usually only certain complexions take certain liberties that are just unheard of for people of color. Like, you look at some stories, that like real live cop footage, and like, oh, they would have been out of here a long time ago, literally on a t-shirt at this point. But sometimes it's like, really? This person is really going off like this and nothing's happening to them? But anyway, I digress. That's the energy it's giving me. Let's see what else we got. Somebody don't want no smoke with the po-po. Justice, wow, yeah, boy, something. Maybe they already have enough legal, attention going on right now, that they're just trying to keep it cool. They don't want to add to it, or they just know that they're already. I mean, damn, this is wow, yeah. And here's exposure, because this is potentially the law enforcement and the justice system. The last two energies you want to be paying attention to you for anything that you don't have control over or have a say-so in. No wonder somebody is like on their best behavior. As a matter of fact, they may not even want to be out and driving out and about at all. They may they may be out and about for necessities only. That's why they drive us so carefully. Like, if I got to go to the store or, to get something to eat or something, then maybe, well, shoot, does anybody even have to do that? There is Uber Eats or whatever. You don't even have to do that, but it seems like however this person needs to be exposed, it's by necessity only. Like they try to limit it. Yeah, look at all this. They feel like they got eyes on them. And they don't even know. This could be like undercover energy. Like they don't even think, or they could be paranoid. There could be that too. Like I said, with that energy when the cops is just riding on the same street as you, and you like, shoot, let me make sure they don't pull me over. But it's clearly, I mean, come on, like, it's one thing to make sure you just doing the right thing, but this is giving more paranoid that, like I said, maybe somebody is riding dirty, no insurance, or expired license, or got something in the car with them, with those pentacles, some paraphernalia or something, or some substance, and they know that if they get pulled over, it's a problem. But this is like, the Page of Swords is given eyes and places and from people that you wouldn't recognize, and maybe even from a distance as well, but very much so tapped into something or looking for something, maybe looking for evidence or just observing somebody's every move, which definitely would be cause for paranoia. I don't care who you are and what you do, but certainly if you ain't doing much, it's less paranoid and more annoyance than anything. But I'm feeling paranoid. Let's see. That's a lot. Oh, hell no, that's way too much, but let me just look at it. We got the King of Wands and the Magician with the Eight of Wands. Ooh, so this is some type of backfire energy or attack. On somebody's home. Oh, a raid. It's giving raid energy. Yeah, and then the Wheel of Fortune, that's karmic. But somebody is either trying to protect, is trying to keep that from happening. Like somebody's out in front of the house. Because this, the Four of Wands is like the house. Somebody's trying to be out in front of, or is out in front of it. The Knight of Wands can be like a foreign traveler or someone traveling from a distance. So it could, they could be trying to get away from it before it happens. Oh. And maybe that's the paranoia in travel here, because it's like the authorities may not have swooped in yet, but there's anxiety about it coming, and somebody's trying to get out of Dodge, but they feel like even when they're doing menial things like just going to the store, or just like they're getting the sense that they're being watched anyway. So it's like they would want to get far away from this house. Or again, this could be an establishment that came up yesterday. They would want to be able to get away from it. Shoot, they would like to be able to disappear with the Magician card here, but they're too much of a spectacle now in this King of Wands. It's like, it's given the energy of someone wanting to be able to blend in, or again, like fall off the face of the earth, disappear, ride off into the sunset to some distant island somewhere and hide. But their profile is too recognizable. Like the King of Wands, you know, that's what this is giving me. Like that, he's been profiled, and he couldn't hide if he wanted to. In this time, it's only a matter of the timing of when this reckoning is happening, but certainly somebody knows that it is. So I don't know if they're trying to get away from it, or they feel like it's no use. You know, that's just their ambition, or they may actually try to, especially with the Knight of Wands. There may be an impulse to try to make the run for it, just, you know, at this point, just to try. Oh, King of Swords, just to try, because why not? Why be a sitting duck waiting for it to all come crashing down on you? At least if you try to move and they run down on you, so be it. But you just might make it. That's what somebody feels. I don't know. Let's see what else we got. Page of Pentacles. They may not have much to go far. That could also be a thing, which is why they're conserving up there in the Four of Pentacles, or to know where to go. Yeah, because it's like, well, I don't have much to go very far, and they don't know who they can trust, where to go, and, you know, like how, if, somebody is an illusion and deluded at the same time. I'm definitely picking up fear here with the Seven of Cups. Afraid to make the wrong choice or make the wrong move and make things worse. Here is that again. Yeah, it's like SWAT swooping in. Maybe while somebody sleep, because that could be Seven of Cups in the dreams, if they get any sleep at this point. Or when somebody is least suspecting of it. Let me see what's on the other side of the Eight of Wands. There's definitely some fast moving energy that can't really be controlled or prepared for. This. Was that it? The Five of Swords and the Hierophant. So this could be raids on big corporations. that are about to sweep the land in some way, shape, or form. And I mean, we already know what's been going on most popularly in the news right now. So it could be some extension of that, or just could be like just the combustion of all of the exposures that are happening at this time, where shit is just hitting the fan. And it could even just be almost coincidence that things are happening that not really coincidence, cosmic coincidence, but more so correlation, that things are hitting the fan at one time. And heads of corporations are under fire. Maybe telling on each other or giving up the tape in some way, shape, or form. And it's just like a massive takedown that's underway right now. And there's really nowhere to run or hide. With all the private jets and private islands and homes in every corner of the earth, it's still reckoning season. And they'll just come get you there and bring you right on back, if you're lucky to escape. Otherwise, catch you right at the border, right as you thought you was about to be wheels up, like, you're gonna have to come with me, sir. Yeah, under here with the Seven of Swords, it's like everybody's being watched right now. Everybody that, is under some scrutiny, some judicial scrutiny. And it feels like no prejudice of position or power, because the Hierophant could be the head of a company or organization. It could also be a judge. And I'm keen on this separation with the Justice here and the Hierophant here. So it could be energies that have been corrupt even within the system. Some type of diversion being created before this implosion. Like, everybody's looking over here, but lo and behold, this is what's really going down. Or that was the distraction before, But I mean, some of these people, they gonna wish they had listened to some spiritual advice. Cause I said that was the warning shot. Old Diddy was like the doorbell to put everybody on notice, like, they here. Put your two hands on the wheel. But in some cases, it doesn't even matter anymore. Like, yeah, look, trying to escape the inevitable. Child. I don't know how successful that's going to be. Not so at all with the Moon card. Matter of fact, let's go over here. Let's get a few more cards out. Moon here. This could be trying to make some like sideline deals or bargain under the table, and it's just not that type of party anymore, because those that would pay for play are being scrutinized as well. They're under the microscope as well. So even those within the system that would be open to collude are not available. It's too hot. You know, the block is literally too hot for people to play those games right now. The moon, what else can that be? Because the moon is like, it could be fear, which I did say. Yeah, so people are trying to make offers and deals out of fear, like desperation, but secretly so. They want to try to, well, it could be people telling secretly behind, yeah, they're trying to give up as much information as possible behind the scenes to try to save their ass. But nobody really knows what they're up against and what they're trying to offer. It seems small to me. It seems small. It seems like what people may be trying to offer is a drop in the bucket of what would be expected to make a deep impact. And they may, and also it could be the system putting on the pressure, knowing that you have more to offer. But of course, you know, like kind of doing a dance here. I don't even know. This is weird. Hold on. Let me get some more. Let me get some more. Like, all I know is this. This is all, you know, this is the only way I was or trying to minimize their, oh, okay. Pardon me, trying to minimize their involvement. That's why it seems small. They're trying to minimize their association or their involvement, or, you know, but this is all I had to contribute to it. This is all I know. This is all I did. This is as far as it went, you know, but nobody knows what is really, like, what cards the system is holding. So it's like shots in the dark, like, oh, well, just trying to throw something, see if it sticks to get out the jam. But it's deeper than that, clearly. With the moon here, it's a whole veil on this situation for those that are in offense, in a point of offense. There's plenty of information and enlightenment for those that are looking to, let's say, prosecute or investigate or charge, whatever the, well, I should say defense is in the dark, but the offensive strategy seems very clear. Yeah, and it could be with the moon card here too. Definitely could be some disruption within secret societies, covens, which we know is I mean, if corporations, my God, are not exempt, certainly these darker entities are not, whether they be within the corporation or existing outside of it, which is sometimes both in this case. So it could be these energies thinking that they may be able to evade exposure or investigation because of the nature of the organization itself and the mysticism, and let's just say outright magic behind them. But as I said, no one is exempt. It's like your magic, your tricks are no good here, sir. Like, that's what it's looking like in the grand scheme of things. A Page of Pentacles, like child's play. Doesn't matter who you know, how y'all give it up. Every other full moon or so, or every quarter full, whatever, every full moon. It doesn't matter. All of that energy is null and void. Well, not really null and void, because this is actually the matter of the backlash or the blowback here with the Eight of Wands. It's just coming in a different form of energy. It was always coming back. It was just a matter of how so and when. And the moon's over here chilling like, I don't know nothing about that. I'm just up here being the moon. What people want to be hollering to me about and chanting up to me about, that's on them. That's funny. I'm just being the moon. Whatever other time people is on down on the earth ain't got nothing to do with me. Even the moon is denouncing the bullshit. Like, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Oh shit. Oh my god. The moon said, keep me out of it. You on your own. You want to be calling in death magic and death rituals and bringing people's livelihoods to a demise. Like, I ain't tell you to do that. I ain't even say I was down for that energy. You just assumed because it was dark that I was here for it. The moon is still the light. That's funny. So this even could be a matter of when we talk with the Five of Swords and the Page of Swords, we could be talking about really the emergence of informants or undercover energies within organizations, and that's how things are kind of going belly up. Yeah, people that have a close proximity to the action and are credible to speak to the investigation or to advance an investigation. Hell, to build the investigation and bring it to some closure here. It's going to be some real freaky stuff that's about to come out about what people have been into. Because I feel like there have been times when things like this have been exposed, right? But a lot of times I think to protect bigger figures and their families, their legacies, and, you know, depending on how far money can stretch to hush a few things up, we may know about some aspects of the case, but we may not know everything, you know. But in this day and age, right here, right now, I'm feeling like everything is going to be exposed. All the weirdest shit, all the mystical stuff, like what they were doing, what with what and how and when and why, you know, like everything. People are just, they're just going to be telling it all. Because there's a case coming to mind in my spirit, and I can't, it was something I watched. I wish it would come to me more clearly, where damn, I wish it would come up for me, because I can see it. It's something that I watched, like a documentary style type of programming, where the person was convicted for something, but how it went down on paper was not Oh, that, you know what that was? Oh, shoot. And I've spoken about this before. That wasn't that was Law and Order. But we know art imitates life, and Law and Order definitely does. But it was like a district attorney. It was that episode that where it was about the down low men, and they had this whole little like boys club, men's club or whatever, where they were playing poker on Wednesday nights. Everybody had a woman or some affiliation with women. It's a long story, but I've spoken about this before. But one of the guys that actually got caught up because he murdered a colleague was some type of like prosecutor or district attorney, like something high up in the legal system. And yeah, in the legal system. And one of his colleagues came up missing. Come to find out, it ended up being like his secret lover, even outside, separate from the men's club. So he had this own love affair going with the colleague, white guy, and he was threatening. Well, I don't know if he threatened them to oust him, but there was some fear that he would, and it would jeopardize his career, his whole persona, being a straight Black man, successful. He had a whole family and kids and everything. So he killed them. But on paper, what they didn't report, like he definitely got hit with the obvious, which, first of all, I don't even think it was like murder 1. I think it was like manslaughter 2 or something, like a much lesser charge than what it probably was, more premeditated. And they also did him the courtesy of not exposing his sexual orientation. Like they made sure to kind of cover, like somehow they coveted those aspects of the trial or of the case up, where they didn't out that, and they also didn't talk about his status being HIV positive. Now, this was a Law and Order that's really, really old, way before there was probably even there was the hype of social media, where, none of that was going under the radar. So it probably was easier to glaze over certain details and just present a certain narrative to the public, and especially because he had a certain position of power and esteem. But now, I think the point of me saying that is, like, now it's just not that simple. Even people with the best PR and the best and the deepest pockets may still not be able to get past the exposure that is happening naturally, socially, and spiritually at this time. Which is why it's even more sinister to get caught with your pants down right now, because some people, whether they have something to gain in retribution or not, may, i.e. those that are actually connected to whatever the inside of this thing may be or things may be, would do it just for sheer entertainment, for clout, for a coin, for a come up, just to even have their 5 minutes of fame. It ain't even 15 no more. It's only 5, and people are still like, yes, I'd like to tell it all, please. So between that and it just naturally being the order of exposure right now, it's like, ain't nowhere to hide. You can go to whatever house you want to go to, and that'll just be added value to the story. That'll just add to the narrative, make it that much more interesting. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Wheel of Fortune came out anyway. Wow. It's a huge ending, like a big, oh man, like, a crash landing. I just heard that. Oh Lord. Maybe seeing a lot of like freak accidents that really ain't accidents, if you know what I mean. or people that will want to take the quick exit out. I don't know if that's really going to be as easy as it may have been once upon a time, though. Right now it's like people are having to really answer for some things in this season before you see your way out of it, if you ever see your way out of it. Some people may be sentenced to live through a season of the karma that they have incurred. Yeah, to really take all that backlash, all that backfire as you are awake and alive. Not to just be able to say, oh, well, I'ma just head on out of this life now. It ain't gonna be that easy. It's gonna feel like, but as I like to say, hopefully, it's for the purposes of transformation. So even no matter how grim the sentencing may be, it still could be for the purpose of transformation if people are willing to see themselves on the other side. But it's not looking very good for some people. Yep, they're trying to get up out. Like I said, they want to head on out. But it's like, where you going? You got some explaining to do. Let's get 2 more. We out here. Poppers back in and out, or I should say out and in. Ooh, I wonder if you can see that. You probably can't. It landed on my knee like that. I'm gonna have to take that in reverse. Yep, I'm gonna have to take that in reverse. Given the nature of this message, a lot of tears. That in this regard, it's like a defiance of gravity, which for me is saying that, as I said before, the typical measures of kind of like rejuvenating self or getting out of things or finding another life, another way around, and like working your magic, working your resources, your access, your power. None of that is grounded in this time. It doesn't. It's not going to have the same effect. It's literally like weightless. And that's a lot of tears that are falling upon. That's like tears against the wind is what I'm getting with that, that don't really land anywhere, because it's like you had so many opportunities, so many chances to not end up in this place. Ain't nothing worse than, crying a river, literally bawling your eyes out, but knowing there's really absolutely nothing you can do to satisfy your sadness or your discomfort. Oh my God, man, I feel that so deep. there's no remedy to make you feel better, to make you see things in a more hopeful light, to soothe yourself in that moment. Like, so much sadness and despair that is not even really worth crying, honestly, because you know the tears are not going to do anything for you but just make you feel worse. That's the type of sadness that I'm feeling here. And I know that sadness. I know that sadness. I don't wish it on anybody, really. To want to cry it all out, but it ain't going to do nothing for you once you do. And I was going to say, strange to me that there's like no feminine energy on this board at all. And then here we are. With the Nine of Pentacles. And the reason why I was taking note of that is because it does, in fact, connect to how I started this message, saying that until the Empress is made whole, restored to her rightful place of sovereignty, of stability, of security, wellness, satisfaction, sensation, all of that, like, until she is satisfied, there'll be hell to pay. Yep, I do believe that. I believe that's what we're seeing now, which is why it's going to be, it could be a slow burn to universal settlement overall, with all the chaos and confusion and stuff that's going on in the world. Everybody ain't going to get the message and take heed to the message at once. People are still going to try their same old tricks until, fight to the death of it all. No matter what handwriting they see on the wall, what evidence they see in their waking life, people are still going to try it. Like they don't believe, as the saying goes, fat meat is greasy. And it will be a delay in that harmony and balance that the universe is insistent upon restoring no matter what. So they'll either fight themselves literally to the death or to some position of disablement where they can't even do much harm to themselves or anyone else at a certain point. But it also will just delay the inevitable, as I said, of just a harmonious balance in creation overall, the more that the retribution of the feminine energy is denied, delayed, and disputed. So everybody can do their part by taking care of, standing on business that they can, make an impact upon. Meaning if you've been in infraction in your own life, handle it. Make it right. Make it right. Otherwise, you're just a part of the problem, and it'll just be, the feminine will be made whole regardless. That's the thing. Even up here, up under this this Hierophant, it's going to happen as I say here, as a defiance of gravity, a gravitational pull that would say it's going to be supernatural how she gets to be restored with or without any support or surrender from anything or anyone else, especially for those that are open to that retribution, to receiving, what is justifiably theirs, or what, or calling it into themselves. It's going to happen no matter what. But how everyone else gets to glean from that resolution is very separate. The feminine here, out of all of this energy, is over here in like a little world of her own little secret garden, living her best life. That means that that's going to happen, that's going to exist, even if the rest of the world is in chaos. So it's like the offering that I'm making is that you get with the flow of universal order and get in order with this realignment, making sure that you're not doing anything to betray yourself as a feminine or the feminine aspect of you or anyone else in your life that's a feminine. You make it right with those that you may have. You are careful to be fair and true and honorable to all both polarities, of course, but particularly the feminine energy. Like, be careful with women. Quite practically speaking, like, be careful, because the backfire and the backlash is at a much heightened intensity now than it's ever been before, because we're talking about lifetimes, eons of retribution that are now being accounted for, and you don't want to be caught in that crossfire. You want to find yourself on the team champion evolution, moving things forward, being in co-creation, respectfully and honorably and healthily, not moving against it. She gonna be all right regardless, that's for sure. But we can all help this process along by just taking accountability and responsibility for our own powerful force, our own creative force. We can contribute that way. That's what I'm saying. Like, word to the wise, 10 of Swords. Like, you will be portraying yourself and yourself alone. If it hasn't already been made clear and evident, like, come on, yeah, like, stop the bullshit. You have the power to manifest the highest frequency of a life experience or the lowest. Keep on putting your energy toward moon magic and death magic and freezer spells and incantations and rituals, or just even speaking ill on people's name. Assassinating characters, diminishing reputations with lies, particularly, or even what you think you know is the truth, but with the intention to destroy. That's energy poorly invested at this time. It's only going to lead to one place. Now, those that are in the upright frequency, of course, can triumph over the worst attempts on their character, on their lives, on their livelihood, and are triumphing now as we speak. As I said, it's a reign of triumph now. So it really, like, it's a very clear distinction here of fate. Very clear. By way of your own self-fulfilling prophecy. It's nobody doing nothing to you, nobody being more favored than the other. It's all about what you are calling into your own reality now. What you're refusing to submit to, or what you're willing to submit to. but everybody having the power of creativity, shoot, simply by the thrust of their own tongue. Yeah. So wield that sword wisely, for sure. All right, I'm done with this. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.